Hello, welcome to another Gundam Battle Version 2 video. That is the new suit, the Sinanju Stein ZA, which apparently stands for, the Z stands for Zoltan, which I know Gundam has a bunch of weird names, but for some reason Zoltan sounds really weird to me in Gundam. It feels like it'd be in Gal Gaigar instead, which, hey, Gal Gaigar is awesome, but... And hey, you know, this is also a Halloween suit, probably because it's called the Stein, so we got another Dullahan situation where they just picked it for the name, apparently. But we got the true Frankenstein with the Zeta Zaku, right, but for limited missions. But hey, I'm fine with this. This is another 4-star raid at 700, and yeah, it can do some pretty disgusting things, but there are some downsides to this as well. We'll get into it, and I have 2 matches here for you. Actually, when I started playing this suit, I didn't know that when you activate the purge mechanic that this thing has, where you purge your fuel pods, you actually get evasion level 3. I didn't realize that, so I was kind of playing this suit super defensively because, you know, 700. And I was worried about fighting the unicorns. And then I realized, oh wait, if that's a thing, then I can be a little bit more aggressive. And I have mentioned before, I'm not very much... a good raid player in this game, so we'll try to see what we can do in a raid at 700. And the second match is me trying to be a little bit aggressive as well, but our team also had a Banshee that knew what he was doing compared to me, just kind of trying to figure things out. So I was just kind of wandering around like, okay, what do I do next? The Banshee's got everything for me, so trying to follow up on attacks, right? But yeah, let's go ahead and get to the stats here. I did mention this is a, I almost said 400 star, Jesus Christ, a 4-star 700 suit. It's a raid, and you have 23,000 health, 18 ballistic, 30 beam and melee resistance. You have 45 range strength, 25 melee strength, 135 movement speed with 230 boost speed, 85 thruster gauge, and 78 turning speed. And for slots, you have 18 close, 20 mid, and 14 long-range slots. And yeah, one of the best benefits the suit has is that you can do a variety of builds with this. The one I'm using here, I actually didn't change my melee at all. I actually went for a range build, a range and defense build. I have 45 beam and 45 melee resistance, which goes up even more when you activate Psycho Frame Resonance, the melee at least. But I also have 69 range strength, and you saw it throughout this first match here. Yeah, the Super Gundam is taking chunks of damage. I believe the full charge beam rifle into the bazooka is just straight up just 8,000 damage, which is I don't even have to touch the Super Gundam with my melee for him to take a lot of damage. Look at that, 5,500 damage. Jeez Louise. So yeah, I appreciate the range strength here. And of course, I've seen some other stuff like, of course, you can do just straight up melee. I've seen a thruster gauge build as well on this suit because this thing does have flexible thruster, which or flexible thrusters. Yeah, no, it's just flexible thruster, which we'll get into when we get to the skills. So practically, or basically, you can just keep boosting forever if you activate that. So yeah, plenty of different builds you can do. Really appreciate that. Kind of helpful for 700. Alright, now we're on to the weapons here. Starting off the primary weapons, you have the high beam rifle, which is 1,500 damage, 8 rounds, 450 range, and you can charge it. And it does take 2 shots to stun if you're rapid firing it. And if you do charge it up, it will consume 3 shots, but you will do a lot of damage, as you saw when I shot the Super Gundam for over 5,000 damage. And it does do some decent damage to generals as well. And I've heard somewhere that it also penetrates. I haven't had that happen to me, probably because, you know, I'm hitting unicorn shields all the damn time. But yeah, apparently it does that, maybe. But yeah, pretty nice weapon so far, you know, especially for someone like me with the range strength. Now for your melee, you have the Sinanju Stein Beam Saber, which is 3,100 damage, and I believe it shares the same moveset with the regular Sinanju. And this time it has a heavy attack, which we'll get into when we get to the skills. That's pretty much it for the beam saber, or your melee weapon. Now onto the secondary weapons, you have the 60mm Vulcan gun, which is 185 damage with 30 rounds, 180 range. And yeah, the Vulcans are quite powerful, and they actually have a decent stun rate. It stuns in 15 shots. However, it does have a slow firing rate. So it's not like super practical if you're trying to get a stun just with that by itself. You know, if this fired as fast as like the Mark II's Vulcan pod, then it'd be super scary, right? But no, it's just or you know, if it's something like, you could probably do something like the EZZ where you throw one beam rifle shot and then try to go into Vulcans. But even then, you might as well just shoot them with a second beam rifle shot, right? But even then, at least it does a good amount of damage. And hey, it's still Vulcans. You can still take out pilots with ease with them. You know, if you're into some said if you're into that like it's a fetish. No. You know when you have pilots running around, instead of just shooting your own teammates when they're trying to capture the point, you can shoot them with your Vulcans. You know, that's the thing you can do. Vulcans are there to take out pilots. Now on to the last weapon. That's right. This thing has 4 weapons. It has the Sinanju bazooka, which is 2,900 damage, 4 rounds, and 400 range. And yeah, this is a instant stun weapon, and that's pretty much it. It's a bazooka that does a lot of damage. And you know, it works pretty well with this suit because, you know, 2,900 damage, ballistic weapon. Not a lot of suits with high ballistic resistance at this cost. And you can build a lot of range strength on the suit, so yeah, connecting 1-to-1 here, yeah, you can do some pretty good damage with it. And of course, you can do some good combos with it. You can start off with a bazooka, go straight into the beam rifle, or if you want to try and read a dodge roll, you can go straight into the charge beam rifle shot into the bazooka, or you know, in case you're fighting a support that can't dodge roll, yeah, you can just do that anyway, get free 8,000 damage. So yeah, pretty nice weapon. And now on to the skills. You have Assault Booster level 3, Balancers, and Back level 2. Maneuver Armor level 4, which I believe is 30% less damage taken while you're boosting. And of course, you can also absorb instant stuns. You have Force Injectors level 3, so you can keep boosting back and forth almost forever because of Flexible Thruster, which is up next. Flexible Thrusters, whenever you activate your Force Injectors, you will have 50% less thrust consumption on your boost gauge. If you notice, I believe the start of both of these matches, I do a little hop and then I boost forward. That way I can activate my Force Injectors, and you can keep boosting for a while. You can run circles around people because of how big your boost gauge is. This is the same skill that's on the Rebabu and the regular Sinanju. So yeah, it's a pretty nice. Oh my god, I wasn't expecting that to go that far. Anyway, timeout. Let's see how we did for this first match. Mission failed, and we'll see how we did. Good work all around. And hey, top individual, top assist, and top damage. So I did okay, you know, me being a raid at 700. And hey, second place, 5-3, and we'll see how we do. Excuse me, the second match. But yeah, flexible thrusters. Yeah, you'll keep boosting forever when you activate Force Injectors, and that's why I said earlier I've seen thruster gauge builds and people literally just keep boosting forever. Just keep going. You know, you can see it right here. You also have Blast Stabilizer, you know, continuing on with the skills here. Blast Stabilizer. When mobile suits explode near you, you know, in melee range, you will not get heavy staggered. You have Counter Program level 2, which is basically what every other 4-star has, where if you had a certain percent of health and you get a counter, you will do a unique counter that will do more damage. You have Back Add-on Buffer level 3, which is I'm assuming your backpack area. Should be obvious. You have Active Purge, which is the skill the suit has exclusive, that I think is a test bed for the Full Armor Gundam to do that with its fuel pods. But essentially what you do is you basically do a dodge roll. You're invulnerable. You send out your fuel pods on your back, and they will explode and heavy stagger somebody if they get hit by it. And they do some great damage as well. I believe 3,000 damage per fuel pod. And you can combo into them, which is kind of scary. Unfortunately, I did not pull off anything like that where I, downswing somebody and just do it. Of course, and when you do your purge mechanic, you actually have increased speed, but you have less thruster gauge, which is kind of funny because you can just do flexible thruster gauge and still have a lot of boost gauge. So your flaw is kind of negated there, unfortunately, for the enemy. But yeah, this is the only downside to this skill is that when you do activate it, you cannot boost as soon as you land, which I think is unfortunate because for the suit being like a high mobility, just hit hard, run away, super fast kind of thing going on with this suit. Also enjoy this really laggy support, by the way. Yeah, with how the suit is, it's kind of surprising that he just stands still awkwardly when he does his purge mechanic, and I'm assuming that's for a good reason because this thing does have psycho frame resonance and heavy attack, and I'm assuming why they want you to not immediately act on yourself, to immediately act out of the purge mechanic is because of how fast you can get your heavy attack going to do fucking 7k to somebody or 12k, if you hit both of your heavy attack hits, because this thing does heavy stagger when it hits. So they're probably trying to make it to where you can't just cheese somebody like that. It is a one-time use per life. I should also add that as well. But hey, adding on to the what I was mentioning earlier with heavy attack, you have heavy attack as well. The beam saber, when you fully charge it, you do a 2-hit motion. You do what I think is a shoulder tackle, and then you do a stab with your I almost said beam rifle, your beam saber. It's a little bit tricky to hit both hits, but like I did there, if you manage to, actually, did I hit both? I think I did. You will do a ton of damage. And of course it does, because it thrusts forward, it will catch people. It has a range to it, right? And of course, to go along with this heavy attack, you have finally, the final skill here, you have Psycho Frame Resonance Z, which activates at 50% health. So when you're at half health, your heavy attack, the charge time goes down by 50%. So you can technically spam it. You can't spam it as much as the Hazel 2, but it's still pretty noticeable. You can keep using it. It's not like EZZ where, okay, I have to wait a while to do my counter or my heavy attack again. Nope, you can just charge it up again. There you go. It's ready to use. Again, not as fast as the Hazels, but yeah, definitely, I would say spammable. I think you can't downswing somebody and do it either, so that's good. Maybe. That's not something I tried either. It sounds really disgusting though. Also, to go along with Psycho Frame Resonance, you take 50% less melee damage as well. So I already have 45 melee resistance, and you had 50% more. Yeah, good luck trying to kill this thing with just melee alone. I have a feeling they did this because they knew there's going to be 15 unicorns on the enemy team trying to melee you. Also, I just got outclassed there. So just got done dirty by the purge mechanic. That looked kind of badass though. But yeah, you will survive a ton of combos from the enemy. You can survive like I think 3 people wailing on you, depending on what their melee strength is. Yeah, combine that with your other skills. Yeah, this suit can be a monster, which will lead into the pros and cons of this suit. I'm going to go ahead and start off with the cons, because I think I forgot to mention this in the parts area, but and also it's not noticeable in the skill area either. This thing has no leg buffers. Yeah. So, yeah, I think for this, also, I'm sorry, I kind of just left the pilot in here. I figured if I would have got out, I would have died, and we're kind of ahead, so I kind of want to stay ahead. So that's my bad. But yeah, as I was saying, with leg buffer, you can get your legs broken. You can get bullied by unicorn players if you don't have leg parts on. I believe with this build, I also have level 3 leg armor, so that way I can, not have broken legs after one encounter with a unicorn. So yeah, that's definitely a big downside on this suit, is no leg buffers. If you have this suit, I would really recommend that you put leg armor on this suit. I really heavily recommend you do. At least, at very least, at least level 1. You need something, man, because all those beam magnum shots are gonna mess you up. Guarantee. Especially at higher ratings where people don't miss. Another downside for this suit is that the purge mechanic, I mentioned this earlier, the purge mechanic, you can't act out of it. So it could a little bit slow to... Somebody can just wait you out of your purge mechanic and try to bait you out of your dodge, all that good stuff, right? You're in a position where it's kind of like it's almost like a 1v1 kind of skill, right? Where you want to do it, you don't want to do it in front of a crowd. They can anticipate you after you do it, right? Although that has more benefits than negatives, though. I'll say that, which I'll go into the buffs here in a second, or benefits. Pros, there we go. Hey, we won, barely. Not on the board, but hey. Still managed to take third place, 5-3. Still over 120k damage, and that was fourth place for that. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, pretty good match there. Probably shouldn't have left the base alone, but oh well. Yeah. On to, let's see some other negatives. The suit is a big suit as well, It's also a raid, so yeah. With all the unicorn players around, yeah, that can be a bit of a problem. And with the the mention of the leg buffer, no leg buffers as well. Yeah, make sure you put leg buffers on and keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for beam magnums. But hey, we're on to the pros now. The pros are that this suit has great stun accumulation potential. It has just great weapons. Except for the Vulcan gun has a low firing rate, but honestly, it still does good damage. I think you saw this match, finished off some low health enemies, and still kills pilots just fine. The part slots are also really good on the suit. You can, along with the weapons, you can do a range build, a melee build. You can do all kinds of builds, and it really helped me out for how I want to play this suit. I feel like I'm still contributing in terms of damage against the enemy supports, or even their generals, depending on what their resistances are. And of course, when it's time to get down and dirty, you got a ton of skills that will help you out as your final pro here. Maneuver armor level 4, force injectors with flexible thrusters. You have blast stabilizer. You got the active purge. You got the psycho frame resonance. Psycho frame resonance is a huge plus for this suit, especially with the ongoing onslaught of unicorns. Definitely helps out a lot. I think this suit is a very good suit, and I think you guys should roll for this if you're interested in it. If you guys don't know, the Unicorn and the Banshee I believe they're going to get nerfed. They mentioned they're going to do something with them next month, which I think they should have done something this month, but yeah, so 700 is probably going to change a little bit, and this suit is probably going to come out on top. This thing has benefits that are really amazing for this suit to have. Oh, I should also mention a nerf is that you don't have a dodge roll. A nerf, a downside for the suit is that you don't have a dodge roll until you activate Purge. I forgot to mention that. It's my bad. Anyway, like I was saying, yeah, the Sinanju Stein might come out very, very well when the Unicorn and the Banshee are nerfed. This thing is very destructive in the right hands. It has the weapons to stun at range very easily, and it has the ability at close range to just murder people. It's a very, very scary suit. Very scary. And I can't wait to see what people will do with it. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like. Subscribe if you want. I'd really appreciate it. And, you know, type up in the comment section how you feel about the Sinanju Stein ZA. Do you like it? Do you hate it? You know what? I kind of do like this suit. maybe I'm going to start hating it once the Unicorn gets nerfed. And, you know, I want to play support in this thing's around the corner. But yeah, this thing has a lot of skills that help it out at 700 very well. It has really good damage output. Yeah, again, in the right hands, this suit is very, very scary. Honestly, I think, in my opinion, I think I'm more scared of if the Banshee didn't have that really cheesy heavy downswing into heavy attack combo, or downswing dodge roll heavy attack combo. I think I would be more scared of this suit than the Banshee, to be honest. And that's just me. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you feel about that, and maybe let me know how you think they'll nerf the Unicorn and the Banshee. Honestly, between those two suits, I think the Unicorn should be for both. I think the Psychomu Jack, I think the time should be lowered on that, or maybe the range on it. The Banshee, I think what would help the Banshee out nerf wise is maybe lower the heavy attack, or no, make the heavy attack charge time higher, so that way you can't just downswing dodge roll and then delete somebody. I think that's kind of ridiculous. You know, one encounter leads to somebody's death. And the Unicorn, I gotta think about the Unicorn, but off the top of my head, maybe get rid of the offense system it has. When it activates, NTD mode, I think that'd probably help it out. That way, people can interrupt its melee combos a lot more, so it's not just going around willy-nilly hitting everybody, including its own teammates. But yeah, that's just off the top of my head. I'll probably, when they do get nerfed, I'll probably have a video on it. But yeah, that'll be it, and I will see you guys later. Bye.